Well, a very good afternoon, class. And today we continue with our chapter titled Madam Rides the Bus. In the previous video, we had covered part 1 and 2, and today we begin with part 3, where Madame, that is Valli, is already riding on the bus and is heading towards the town. So we start with part 3. Her first journey. What careful, painstaking, elaborate plans she had to make for it. She had thriftily saved whatever stray coins came her way, resisting every temptation to buy peppermint, toys, balloons, and the like. And finally, she had saved a total of 60 paise. How difficult it had been, particularly that day at the village fair, but she had resolutely stifled a strong desire to ride the merry-go-round, even though she had the money. After she had enough money saved, her next problem was how to slip out of the house without her mother's knowledge. But she managed this without too much difficulty. Every day after lunch, her mother would nap from about 1 to 4 or so. Valli always used these hours for her excursions as she stood looking from the doorway of her house, or sometime even ventured out into the village. Today, these same hours could be used for her first excursion outside the village. The bus rolled on now, cutting across a bare landscape, now rushing through a tiny hamlet or past an old wayside shop. Sometimes the bus seemed on the point of gobbling up another vehicle that was coming towards them, or a pedestrian crossing the road. But lo, somehow it passed on smoothly, leaving all obstacles safely behind. Trees came running towards them, but then stopped as the bus reached them and simply stood there, helpless, for a moment by the side of the road before rushing away in the other direction. Suddenly, Valli clapped her hands with glee. A young cow, tail high in the air, was running very fast, right in the middle of the road, right in front of the bus. The bus slowed to a crawl, and the driver sounded his horn loudly again and again. But the more he honked, the more frightened the animal became, and the faster it galloped, always right in front of the bus. So, this was our first journey, and it had taken a lot of planning on her part to be able to do this. First was the financial burden of saving 60 paise, which was not easy for a young girl like her. She saved whatever little money that came her way and resisted every temptation to spend it on sweets, especially when there was a village fair. She wanted so much to ride the merry-go-round. But her wish of riding the bus to town was greater than her desire to go take a ride at the merry-go-round. So finally, she was able to save up the money. Next was to be able to fool her mother, all right, to evade her mother and go to the town. But this was not the difficult part because her mother always used to sleep from 1 till 4 in the afternoon. And this was the time when Valli used to stand on the door, look at the things pass by. This was the time when she used to go visit the village. So today, this was the time that she used to go to the town and come back without her mother noticing. So she saw a lot of things. She saw cars coming in from the other direction. She thought that the bus would eat the car up, but the bus moved on without any problem. She thought that the trees were running in one direction to the other as the bus moved along. Then she clapped with joy when she saw a young cow with tail high up in the air running right in front of the bus. The bus driver slowed the bus. He honked the horn at the cow, but the more he honked, the more frightened the animal became. And he ran even faster, but right in front of the bus. Somehow, this was very funny to Valli. She laughed and laughed until there were tears in her eyes. Hey, lady, haven't you had enough? Called the conductor. Better save some for tomorrow. At last the cow moved off the road as soon as the bus came to a railroad crossing. A speck of a train could be seen in the distance, growing bigger and bigger as it drew near. Then it rushed past the crossing gate with a tremendous roar and rattle, shaking the bus. Then the bus went on and passed the train station. From there it traversed a busy, well laid out shopping street and turning entered a wider thoroughfare. Such big, bright looking shops. What glittering display of clothes and other merchandise. Such big crowds. Struck dumb with wonder, Valli gaped at everything. Then the bus stopped and everyone got off except Valli. Hey lady, said the conductor, aren't you ready to get off? This is as far as your 30 paise takes you. No, Valli said. I'm going back on the same bus. She took another 30 paise from her pocket and handed the coins to the conductor. Why? Is something the matter? No, nothing's the matter. I just felt like having a bus ride, that's all. Don't you want to have a look at the sights now that you are here? All by myself? Oh, I would be much too afraid. Greatly amused by the girl's way of speaking, the conductor said. But you weren't afraid to come in the bus. Nothing to be afraid about that, she answered. Well then, why not go to that stall over there and have something to drink? Nothing to be afraid about that either. Oh no, I couldn't bear that. Well then, let me bring you a cold drink. Oh no, I don't have enough money. Just give me my ticket, that's all. It'll be my treat and not cost you anything. No, no, she said firmly. Please, no. The conductor shrugged, and they waited till it was time for the bus to begin the return journey. Again, there weren't many passengers. When she was laughing loudly, looking at the cow running, the conductor said, save some laugh for tomorrow as well. All right, that's enough laugh for today. Then they waited for the train to cross, and finally they reached the town, and Valli was shocked and amazed at the sights that she saw. Colorful shops, glittering clothes, and huge crowds. And when they reached the town, the conductor told Valli, all right, madam, this is where you get off. This is as far as your 30 paise will take you. But Valli said, no, I'm not getting off. I'm going back on the same bus. Here is 30 paise. The conductor said, but don't you want to look at the shops then? And Valli said, no, I'm afraid. And conductor was amused. He said, but you weren't afraid when you got on the bus. And Valli said, of course, I am not afraid to get on the bus. But I'm alone, so I would rather go back in this bus. And she paid the money, and the conductor was kind man. And he said, all right, at least go have some thing from the shop over there. All right, why don't you have a cold drink? And Valli said, I don't have the money. And the conductor said, fine, I'll pay for it. Don't worry. But Valli wouldn't have it. She said no, and she was adamant on that. And the conductor had to give up. And then the bus came back after some time with Valli on the bus. And again, there weren't many passengers. And the bus started making the journey back to the village. That is Valli's village. Now we come to the last part, that is part 4. Won't your mother be looking for you? The conductor asked. When he gave the girl her ticket. No, no one will be looking for me, she said. The bus started, and again there were the same wonderful sights. Valli wasn't bored in the slightest and greeted everything with the same excitement she had felt the first time. But suddenly she saw a young cow lying dead by the roadside, just where it had been struck by some fast-moving vehicle. So the journey back started. The passenger had changed. Valli was still there, coming back to the village, and she was very much excited about the sights and scenery that she was seeing, all right? The excitement was still there, but that excitement and happiness took over by sadness when she saw the young cow lay dead on the side of the road because that cow had apparently been hit by a fast-moving vehicle. Isn't that the same cow that ran in front of the bus on her trip to town? She asked the conductor with sadness. What had been a lovable, beautiful creature just a little while ago had now suddenly lost its charm and its life and looked so horrible, so frightening as it lay there, legs spread-eagled, A fixed stare in the lifeless eyes, blood all over. The bus moved on. The memory of the dead cow haunted her, dampening her enthusiasm. She now no longer wanted to look out of the window. She sat thus, glued to her seat, until the bus reached the village at 3:40. She stood up and stretched herself. Then she turned to the conductor and said, "Well, sir, I hope to see you again." "Okay, madam," he answered, smiling. "Whenever you feel like a bus ride, come and join us, and don't forget to bring your fare." She laughed and jumped down from the bus, and away she went, running straight for home. When she entered her house, she found her mother awake and talking to one of Valli's aunts, the one from South Street. The aunt was a real chatterbox, never closing her mouth once she started talking. "And where have you been?" said her aunt when Valli came in. She spoke very casually, not expecting a reply. So Valli just smiled, and her mother and aunt went on with their conversation. "Yes, you are right," her mother said. "So many things in our midst and in the world outside. How can we possibly know about everything? And even when we do know about something, we often can't understand it completely, can we?" "Oh, yes," breathed Valli. "What?" asked her mother. "Was that you say?" "Oh," said Valli, "I'm just agreeing to what you said about things happening without our knowledge." "Just a chit of a girl she is," said her aunt. "And yet, look how she pokes her nose in our conversation, just as though she were a grown lady." Valli smiled at herself. She didn't want to understand. She didn't want them to understand her smile. But then, there wasn't much chance of that, was there? Translated from the Tamil version by S.K. Sundaram and illustrated by R.K. Lakshman. Now, in the final part, while Valli is she has come back from the bus ride. Although she saw a dead cow, and that dampened her spirits. It made her sad, and she didn't want to look at the scenery anymore outside because the cow was just running, it was alive, it was well, and now it is on the side of the road dead. So she came back, reached the village, and she told the conductor, "Thank you, sir." And the conductor said, "Anytime you feel like riding a bus, you can hop right on, and don't forget to bring the fare." Valli smiled and entered the house, and it was 3:30, and she found out that the mother was already awake and in conversation with a neighbor aunt who was quite a chatterbox, all right, who loved to talk. As soon as Valli entered, the aunt asked him, "So where have you been?" But it was a very casual question, so she didn't felt the need to answer and just smiled. After she smiled, the mother and the aunt started continuing with the conversation they were having, and it so happened that the mother was talking to the aunt about how we cannot know everything, even if we want to. How things are always happening outside of our knowledge. And so, while mother was saying this, Valli also says, "Yes, I agree with that. We cannot have the knowledge of everything that goes around us. There are so many things happening as we are standing here, and we have no knowledge about it." And the mother was surprised. "You said what?" And the aunt says, "Just look at her. Just a young girl and poking her nose into elder people's conversations." See, this is what we do, right? हाम्रो सोसाइटीमा कस्तो हुन्छ, ठुलो मान्छेहरू बोल्दैछ भने we don't expect children to interrupt in between, all right? That is what we consider as basic etiquette. So that is what is going on here. She's like just a small girl, and she's poking her nose into other people's business. Valli smiled at herself, all right? And she didn't expect her mother and the aunt to understand that smile because they don't know what Valli has been through the day. And that concludes the story of a young girl named Valli who took her first maiden bus ride to the town and back to the village without any of her family members knowing. So now, dear students, please go through the text. As always, find the difficult words, underline them, and look for the meaning as well. You will be provided with the summary and the multiple choice questions on this chapter very shortly. All right, stay home and stay safe.